Whole class guided reading in Key Stage 2. To begin with, I will discuss the importance of reading and the benefits of regular reading, Ofsted's reading framework, guided reading in general, and more specifically, whole class guided reading in Key Stage 2. Reading is a skill necessary for pupils of all ages. Reading has a plethora of benefits for pupils, such as developing pupils' imagination, their ability to express themselves, improving concentration, developing empathy, increasing and improving vocabulary, as well as many others. Studies have shown that pupils who read for enjoyment every day not only perform better in reading tests than those who don't, but also develop a broader vocabulary, increased general knowledge, and a better understanding of other cultures. Ofsted's framework has explicitly included the importance of reading in the curriculum of every primary school. This can be assessed through the 3 I's of intent, implementation, and impact. The end goal is that schools are delivering a well thought out curriculum that has positive and long-lasting effects on pupils and their ability to read. Within the intent aspect of Ofsted's framework, schools should be providing a curriculum that supports pupils in their phonics from reception to Year 2 to ensure they make the progress necessary to read books independently in later years. A clear sequencing of reading books should be shown to be in line with the school's phonics programme, enabling pupils to match or exceed national curriculum expectations. The implementation aspect of Ofsted's review focuses on whether or not the school is providing pupils with opportunities to improve their reading and phonics knowledge. Teachers should have a clear understanding of how pupils learn to read and should be providing pupils with the skills necessary to do so. Furthermore, pupils should be provided with sufficient opportunities to read and reread a wide range of books, both at school and at home, to ensure they are given ample opportunities to develop these skills. The reading aloud of stories, poems, rhymes, and non-fiction texts is essential in developing pupils' vocabulary, comprehension, and love of reading. Finally, by creating and implementing an effective and rigorous reading curriculum, schools should be having a long-lasting impact on pupils and their ability to read. This should include enabling all types of learners to make sufficient progress towards meeting or exceeding age-related expectations. This should then in turn ensure pupils are familiar with and enjoy reading and listening to a wide range of stories, poems, rhymes, and other non-fiction texts. Rock and Tumner developed a simple reading view in 1986 where a teacher can assess a pupil's language comprehension and word recognition to ascertain where a pupil may need help to achieve their reading goals. When looking at this model, we can see that good word recognition and good language comprehension leads to pupils being able to read a text and comprehend it. The model reiterates the importance of choosing texts that are suitable to each individual pupil in order to ensure they can access the materials given to them. As seen in the previous slide, reading can be broken down into 2 dimensions, word reading and comprehension. In order to ensure you are delivering a well thought out and balanced curriculum, it is essential that pupils are given the opportunity to develop skills in both of these areas through a wide range of different texts. This can be done through guided reading sessions and through ensuring that children have a reading book in which they can take home. Word reading essentially involves the reader being able to speedily work out how to pronounce familiar and unfamiliar words while reading. In order to do so, pupils need to have a secure phonics knowledge and should know the sounds that each letter represents. Therefore, it is vital that teachers are teaching phonics in line with the school's reading programme up to Year 2 and further where necessary. Word reading plays a major role in the literacy national curriculum and makes up many of the objectives within each year group. It is therefore vital that word reading is developed and nurtured throughout Key Stage 1 and 2. While there are fewer reading objectives in Key Stage 2, pupils must have a secure knowledge of Key Stage 1 word reading objectives in order to achieve the more challenging and demanding Key Stage 2 objectives. Poor word recognition can make comprehension of text much more difficult for pupils when reading. This is why it is essential that pupils are exposed to a wide range of texts as well as undergoing guided reading. If the text has too many unknown words to the reader, it can be very difficult or even impossible for them to comprehend. A way to improve word recognition is using precision teaching. Here, we track the words a child doesn't recognise or cannot spell and create a table with these in it. These words are then dictated to the pupil, and they must try to spell the words correctly. By constantly repeating the same word in a sequence, they become more familiar with the word and it becomes ingrained in their memory. If the pupil gets the spelling of the word incorrect, it is then the teacher or the LSA, Learning Support Assistant's job, to help the child spell the word correctly by teaching them a strategy in order to remember it. Decoding skills can also be very beneficial for pupils who have issues with decoding words. The various different dogs from Twinkle are very beneficial for children in developing their decoding skills. Furthermore, Literacy Shed has a wide range of resources such as the Vipers, which are more beneficial to Key Stage 2 pupils in developing better decoding skills. Fluency can be described as the ability to read a text with rhythm and intonation. This means that the pupil can generally read up to 90 words aloud per minute, or silently 100 words per minute. In doing so, pupils can generally comprehend a text much better, as they have not had issues pronouncing unfamiliar words, leading to pauses in the text and consequently a loss in concentration or comprehension. Generally speaking, pupils who can read fluently understand texts better. The reason for this is because those who can read fluently don't spend time decoding words before comprehending the sentences. Comprehension of text draws upon linguistic knowledge. That is why when pupils don't need to decode all of the words they encounter, they have a better understanding of the text. Comprehension can also be gained through high-quality discussions with teachers or supporting staff. Guided reading, therefore, can provide opportunities for pupils to discuss and comprehend texts they may have misunderstood on their own. Furthermore, if a teacher reads a text aloud, those pupils who would have had difficulty reading the text independently due to decoding issues can often comprehend the text much easier. In reading a wide range of texts, pupils are given the opportunity to develop a wide range of skills, which can in turn improve their vocabulary and everyday speech. There are various comprehension strategies teachers can use to develop comprehension skills, such as reading aloud, rereading texts, pausing regularly to reflect, and many others. These can be used in guided reading sessions to give pupils the opportunities to develop their comprehension skills. Guided reading is an approach to reading where skills are taught which involve a teacher. Here, the teacher works with a small group of pupils of similar reading level or behaviour. The text should be easy enough for the pupils to read between 90 and 94% of the words fluently and are supported by the teacher where necessary. This activity gives pupils the opportunity to problem solve and build upon their fluency and comprehension skills. Guided reading has traditionally been taught in small groups by using a carousel, but in recent years, there has been a lot of praise for whole class guided reading, particularly in Key Stage 2. While guided reading has often been thought of as an antiquated way of teaching reading, it has many benefits and provides teachers with immediate feedback on their pupils' progress. By choosing a book that pupils can read between 90 to 94% of the words accurately, they have a better understanding of what they're reading and can enjoy the story much more. It makes the book more accessible to pupils and helps them to build strategies they can use when reading independently. It also gives pupils the opportunity to focus on meaning as well as problem solving. Guided reading provides pupils with the opportunities to apply strategies they have learnt while also building new ones. It helps to build pupils' confidence when reading and their ability to answer questions based on a text. By having a teacher support these sessions, pupils can typically achieve more than they previously would have. The reason for this is because pupils are given the opportunity to work in the zone of proximal development, allowing them to work on something they already know how to do and teaching them something new. In doing so, pupils get closer to the end goal of reading independently. While the traditional carousel has been used for years to teach guided reading, whole class guided reading has been argued to be more beneficial in Key Stage 2 pupils. As pupils are exposed to higher level texts than they normally would be, as well as vocabulary they wouldn't normally be exposed to. By having everything modelled, even the reading itself, pupils are more likely to comprehend the texts and are better able to answer the questions based on the text. While reading aloud to the class is an essential element of whole class guided reading, it is important that pupils are also given the opportunity to read aloud. Class discussions and repeated exposure to the text increase pupils' understanding of the text over time. During whole class guided reading, the teacher can choose to work with and support a certain group of learners. This could vary from day to day to ensure that all learning groups have the opportunity to work with a teacher and are sufficiently challenged. During this group work, the teacher could support lower attaining pupils who typically find these whole class guided reading sessions quite challenging. In doing so, the teacher can discuss potential answers of questions with pupils before they write down the answer. They can undergo further reading and explanation of new words encountered in the session to ensure they have a thorough understanding of the text, as well as encouraging pupils to work collaboratively. Having another adult in the room, like an LSA, means that there can be another group working with this adult, or alternatively, they can be supporting pupils who are working independently. As whole class guided reading can be more challenging for lower attaining pupils, it is vital that you modify the activities to support these learners. To do so, teachers can provide pupils with a glossary of all the new words they will encounter and their meanings, scaffold answers by having sentences with blank or missing words in which they have to complete, or even modelling answers together as a class on the whiteboard. The text can also be modified so that it is more accessible to lower attaining learners, or a focus on lower order skills like retrieval can be undertaken before undergoing higher order skills like inference. By using a tool such as the Vipers, children can focus on different types of skills within lessons, such as vocabulary, inference, prediction, explanation, retrieval, and summarising. Differentiating the questions for different learner groups will make it more accessible for different groups. Furthermore, by focusing on lower order skills, such as retrieval first, and then building to higher order skills like inference and summarising, pupils will build their confidence and build upon the skills that they have learned. An example of using a tool can be seen on the following slide. Here we can see lower attaining pupils focusing on retrieval skills, while higher attaining pupils are focusing on inference, vocabulary, and summarising skills. This can greatly help your pupils in developing their confidence in their reading ability. I hope you found this PowerPoint useful in undergoing guided reading sessions within your school.